This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. So about that, I only post when the Oilers win. Oh yeah, well, I mean, 8 o'clock game, and I think if you're special enough in my life, you would have gotten a text message last night saying, "Man, these 8 o'clock games are killer." And yeah, well, let me tell you, they are. Might have been a 3-0 win for the Oilers last night, but it was about an hour and a half nap on the couch for me, and then off to bed I went about 10 o'clock last night. Yeah, that's the story of my evening watching the Oilers 3-0 win. I'll recap what I watched. It was not good. It was a very sketchy first period that ended 0-0, and then I want to say I know what happened in the intermission, but I'm not even going to discuss it because I feel like I'm going to be wrong. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave that. So my apologies. I didn't even make it all the way through last night's hockey game. However, the Oilers did without giving up a goal. Mike Smith was in net. He's 6-0-0. One of, if not the best goalie in the NHL right now, by the way. Oh yeah, don't forget about that. What else can be said? Well, the fact it's our second shutout of the season, those don't happen often in Oilers land. Those are like maybe a twice-a-year thing at best. So either we're going to have another one this year, or we've just burnt our two for the rest of the year. The fact is, the other side too, is the Oilers go into a series here against the Leafs that could see us take first place if we sweep. Yeah, okay, all right. I'm down to play that game. You know what? Here we are. I keep talking about losing, and the Oilers just keep winning. So that's something as well. And yeah, I think that regroups it enough for me to get back on the horse and get this going for you. So, 2 minutes in, let's discuss things here. If you're ready to keep riding the wave here on Dolynny TV and you're just following along but haven't hit that subscribe button yet, maybe it's the time now to do so because the Oilers are winning and you're feeling good about it. I don't know. Again, I'm all about the double jinx or whatever it is. So, let's not get too concerned, but let's talk those Oilers. Oh, wait, that's what I've already done for 2 minutes. Friday. A week full of Mondays, I tell you. It's been a crazy day. But that said, is the fact of the Oilers. They did pretty good this week. They did exactly what they needed to do. Now rolling on a 5-game win streak. 11-2 in their last 13 games. The hottest team in the NHL is what I keep seeing online. And you guys saw I took that break last week, and now I'm back this week, mostly, and I've been posting away, and things have been pretty positive in the comments section. It's amazing what a little bit of winning will do for the online psyche of Oilers fans, let me tell you. I just want to throw that out there. It's pretty crazy what winning will do for people, and my goodness, you know what? Here's the problem. I'm going to give you a behind the scenes on YouTube. I get half the comments on a game review when the Oilers win as compared to when the Oilers lose. Everybody knows how to complain. Nobody knows how to celebrate. Myself included, obviously, because I wasn't even posting last night. So there you go. Is what it is. Hey, you know what? Is what it is. But here's the thing. The reason I bring that up is simply to just talk about it out in the open, and the fact of, right, go into that game down 3-0 15 minutes in against Vancouver, or reference that first period last night where the Oilers, yeah, they deserved a better fate than 0-0, but they could have also been down 4-0 and definitely deserved to be down 4-0 if they were. You get where I'm going, right? You think about those power plays. Disaster for the Oilers last night in that first period, whether you want to say on the offensive side hitting posts, or if you want to say on the defensive side just giving up too many chances and barely keeping it together thanks to Mike Smith and a couple of key clears at a key time. Fair. So you look at those two games against Vancouver, and they really tell a tale of how the same old story, how the typical Oilers situation, typical Oilers, has kind of disappeared out the window the past 11 games. Or 13 games. Take for reference on this. The Oilers have only lost 2 games since being 3-6-0, right? Okay, can you name those 2 games? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Because they're a pair. They're a pair together of 6-goal games against. That's the only way in the past 13 games the Oilers have been able to been beat, is if the opponents score 6 or more goals. Winnipeg, Calgary. And so in that, right, is, okay, well, 6-goal loss, that's ugly. And I still, to this day, despite being 11-2 in the past 13, am not impressed with that first Battle of Alberta game we lost 6-4. But hold on. Hold on a second here. You say we lost 6-4 and you're not impressed. Well, yeah, it's a loss. It did not live up to the hype. It was boring. Like, every puck that got dangerous was going in. It was too predictable, right? There was going to be no emotion, and every dangerous chance was a goal. Fair, right? Okay, well, that sucks out the energy in the room pretty quick. And that Winnipeg game, well, got down behind really bad, but we tied it up. And it was one bad mistake, despite giving up 6 goals, that ended up costing Mikko Koskinen an L on the season. Okay. Wait, what did you say? Right? Like, get that through your head for a second, is that doesn't make sense. You lost by 6 both times. The Oilers nowhere near out of those games for more than maybe 15 minutes of the total game each game. Right? When it was over kind of deal, and the Oilers lost. Sure. But for the majority of those games, the Oilers were right there in the conversation, or working their butts off to get back in the conversation, like they succeeded in doing against the Canucks 2 games ago. What I'm getting at here is, typically, when the Oilers lose bad, right, 6 goals against, it is ugly. I mean, the Oilers, they embarrass themselves from start to finish. Connor McDavid's the only guy that does anything in that game, and it looks like all you're doing is wasting his time, your time, and the NHL's time being an NHL franchise. That is not the case. That has not been the case for the past 13 games. And us as Oilers fans, to no fault of our own, because we've been conditioned to become and know this for probably since the last Cup in 1990, is the fact that, you know what? When the Oilers lose, it's ugly, it's bad, and you should never expect anything better than the terrible product you got. But at the same rate is, when you lose, they're not going to try. When they get down, they're not going to try. There's no hope. There's nothing. As soon as something bad happens, the game's over. Right? We've been conditioned to think that for 31 years. As soon as the first bad thing happens in the game, whether you're up 2-0 and you give up a crappy penalty kill goal, or whatever, right? No matter what the situation is, and the first bad thing happens, the same old story, the Oilers lose. That has not been the case anywhere in this past 13 games. That's the hard part. And even, right, I am still adamant that was a terrible, absolute garbage game against Calgary, the first one of the season. And no matter how you look back on it, you can't apply the same old story to it the way you normally would to every other loss. Because despite being 6-goal loss, yeah, you know what, some storylines apply, it's still a very good takeaway game for the Oilers. And that's what I'm getting at, is for the past 13 games, no matter the result, no matter what the Oilers have done, there has been nothing but positive takeaways, right? Is, dang, you know what? That is not the kind of effort we can turn in against the Flames. We know we can't do that against any team in the North Division, let alone the Winnipeg Jets. Right? And against Vancouver, never say die. We've got the tools up and down the lineup to stay in a game and get back in a game no matter the situation. And throughout this whole streak of 11-2 in 13, the Oilers, never say die, always in the games, always right there, can strike at a moment's notice, and it's 1 through 4, pair 1 through 3, and the goaltending has been there. As I've said from the start of the year, whether you've liked it or not, this Oilers team is capable. I don't care what you think of the goaltending. I don't care what you think of the defense. I don't care what you think of the offense and how it stacks up is if this team plays like it's capable of, guess what? You go 11-2 in your last 13 games and become the NHL's hottest team in the past, past month? Realistically? Crazy. I know. But guess what? You know what? Celebrate a little. Enjoy this weekend. It doesn't matter what happens against the Leafs, right? Nobody's given us a realistic shot to win first. So let's go win second. Hands down, let's build as much separation between us and the Leafs and 3 and 4 in the division as we possibly can. If we're going to be second place, let's shoot there. Let's not plan the parade route. Let's just go for second place and get it done. First place, if it happens, it happens. But you know what? Home ice is home ice. First round of the playoffs guaranteed. I'll take it. I will freaking take it. So let's go get that done this weekend. Let's continue this hot streak and let's enjoy some Edmonton Oilers hockey. Winning hockey at that. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.